How's it going, Broadway freaks? Welcome to the Ben Applegate Show, where we talk about the latest things going on in the Broadway community. Be sure to hit that like button and pardon the lighting. This is very temporary. I'm going to have a new studio set up, but let me actually get into that a little bit. Just a quick little channel update. I will be taking next week off since I am moving to Los Angeles, so I hope you can understand that. But the other news, I am going back to twice weekly uploads as of March 3rd, which will be the next time I upload, which of course, just like the old days, is every Tuesday and Friday. Okay, let's get into the real news. The first story I had today, Jagged Little Pepper Spray. So, what's that about? So this last Saturday, a matinee performance of the musical Jagged Little Pill was canceled after a patron's pepper spray went off in the audience. This happened during the second act of the musical. The New York Police Department and the New York City Fire Department showed up at around 4:15 p.m. According to NYPD, no critical elements were reported, although there were 2 minor injuries from the pepper spray, both of whom refused medical attention. The evening performance that Saturday went on as scheduled, although people who attended the matinee were offered refunds or possibilities to exchange their tickets for another performance. No one was hurt, just a weird instance, although it really would be weird to see a show and you're halfway through the second act and then you don't get to see the rest of it. Oh, that would be so weird. This next story is really quick. I'm just going to say that the 24th annual Tony Awards have announced a few dates. The Tony Awards have released the calendar of events they will be held at the Radio City Music Hall on June 7th. Other dates to keep in mind are that shows must be open by April 23rd to be eligible for Tony nominations, and the nominations will be revealed on April 28th. I'm going to try and have a chart and make predictions as to what the Tonys are going to be. With that said, let's get to the lightning round. Aladdin 2, sequel to the live-action Aladdin from 2019, has been greenlit by Disney. American Utopia closed its doors on February 16th, ending with their highest-grossing week of the run. Cassie Levy and Patty Murin left Frozen on February 16th. Six, the musical began previews on February 13th and will officially open on March 12th. The Netflix adaptation of 13 the Musical is set to hold open auditions for all roles. Now let's get to those weekly Broadway numbers where we talk about, you guessed it, the weekly Broadway numbers. The top 5 shows by gross were as follows: To Kill a Mockingbird at number 5, Tina the Tina Turner Musical number 4, The Lion King, Moulin Rouge, and Hamilton at number 1. The bottom 5 by gross were Girl from the North Country at number 5, My Name is Lucy Barton, A Soldier's Play, The Inheritance, and Grand Horizons. The top 5 by capacity were The Book of Mormon. First time I've seen that on this list for quite a while. 6, The Musical. Number 3, Hadestown. Number 2, Hamilton, being beaten by Come From Away. Hamilton's not number 1. The bottom 5 by capacity are Chicago, Grand Horizons, Girl from the North Country, The Phantom of the Opera, and The Inheritance. Okay, buckle up, because this is a long one. Up to recording this point, I've been kind of silly because I'm trying to just make a normal video, but now I'm getting to this story, my mood might significantly change, and you'll at least know why. We're going to talk about a controversy regarding the West Side Story revival and some of their casting decisions, particularly their casting decision of the role Bernardo, who is being played by Amar Ramasar. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, but I don't really care that much because you're going to find out what an epic douchebag this person is. This story has actually been developing over the past few months. So in July of 2019, the West Side Story revival announced its cast, with 23 of whom reported to be making their Broadway debut. Among them were Ramar Ramasar, a dancer for the New York City Ballet, in the role of Bernardo. The West Side Story production received a ton of backlash and protest to this decision for the following reason. In September of 2018, Alexandra Waterbury filed a lawsuit against Ramasar along with ex-boyfriend Chase Finley and Zachary Catazara for sharing explicit nude photos of not only her but many other women in both the New York City Ballet as well as the School of American Ballet without either their knowledge or consent, including a bare-breasted picture of a female company member, and has also been sued on a separate occasion of sharing the picture of a nude vagina of another woman, which he defended, saying the picture was taken consensually, although there was no knowledge or consent as to the sharing of that picture with other people. After this lawsuit was filed and many women in the company said that they were uncomfortable dancing with Ramasar and the other men, NYCB fired Catazaro and Ramasar, with Finley having left before the lawsuit even happened. Okay, so far so good, right? We got rid of them, one of them left, they're not a problem anymore, except that's not where it ends at all, it's where it just begins, and it gets way worse. In April of 2019, the American Guild of Musical Artists, a union that represents, among other things, ballet dancers, unless they're women apparently, contested their firings and got both Catazaro and Ramasar back and reinstated into the NYCB. Now, Catazaro at least had some kind of sense and actually declined the reinstatement, although don't get it twisted, he's still an epic bag of douche because he did defend the decision to reinstate himself, saying he was grateful and relieved to be offered reinstatement and called the initial termination wrong and unjust. So, screw him. But that's not actually what we're talking about. The main focus today is Ramasar, because he was the one who was cast in this production that's about to open tomorrow as of uploading this on February 20th. Ramasar accepted reinstatement, returned to the NYCB. This of course led to massive backlash online and in person, with protests happening outside the Broadhurst Theater, which is where West Side Story is being produced. With the production opening on February 20th, the West Side Story management responded to the backlash and protests in a statement. And I kind of hope you're sitting down, because spoiler alert, they could not have been more dismissive and less understanding to those protesters if they had tried. They stated the company of West Side Story, which was edited and later changed to the management of West Side Story, obviously with people in the company not wanting to be represented by this statement. The management of West Side Story stands as it has always stood with Amar Ramasar, stating the alleged incident took place in a different workplace, and the dispute in question has been definitively concluded according to the specific rules of that workplace. Okay, you're a hiring manager at Target. Someone walks in and says that they used to work at Walmart, and they say that at Walmart they stole $100 from the cash register every week. Do you hire that person? No, but you have to, because it happened in a different workplace. It happened in Walmart. You're the hiring manager for Target. You can't base your decision on whether or not you're going to hire them based on something you did in Walmart. That's a different workplace. Sound insane? Well, that's their logic. That's the logic of West Side Story management. And why exactly wouldn't you hire that person? Because of some arbitrary punishment? You think they haven't had enough time to think about it? Or for loss prevention and safety, because you don't want him to steal from your store. There's no reason to assume that the pattern of behavior is going to be any different just because he's applying for a different store. Ramasar clearly has a history of misconduct and harassment with other women, and it's your job as representatives to defend both your male and female representees and protect them from that said abuse. One of the biggest disconnects for people who are against the Me Too movement and what's been called cancel culture is that they blame people for trying to punish someone indefinitely, accusing people of just trying to condemn and punish instead of forgive and let's move on. We're not talking about an issue of justice versus mercy and whether we should cancel someone forever. It's about something that's not talked about very much: safety. It's about making sure that if someone has a history of mistreating certain people, that they don't have the opportunity and be put in a position of power to mistreat other people in the same way. You know that saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? Ramasar committed this act the first time, alright, shame on him. He should have been fired, he should have been removed, and then that would have been fine. And he was initially, but then he was reinstated. And now they are having him in West Side Story, which is going to be with many other female cast members, and he's clearly in a position where he could commit those same vile acts again. Oh, but it gets worse. They double down and say there is zero consideration being given to Ramasar's potentially being terminated from his workplace, as there has been no transgression of any kind ever in this workplace. The West Side Story company does not, as a practice, terminate employees without a cause. There is no cause here. Yeah, if I just don't see this microphone, because it's not in my field of vision, it doesn't exist. I don't see it. It doesn't exist. Yeah, if Ramasar was actually literally taking money from a company, of course they'd fire him, because money's what it's about. But because he's harassing people and those women don't have any power and they don't have any agency to affect ticket prices, they don't care about what he's done to them. I mean, what are you putting in your pipe and smoking? Freaking West Side Story management. They end with, he will continue to play in this production for the entire unabated length of his agreement. Hey, West Side Story management, how do you sleep at night with that logic of, well, he hasn't harassed any of our women, he hasn't taken any nude pictures and sent them to his friends in our company, he hasn't taken any pictures of breasts or vaginas of anyone I know, so I just don't care. I don't give a flying... I just don't care what he's done to other women, because all I care about is this company and our money, and just the smugness in that statement. Like, oh, what are you doing, you women, you plebs complaining? Just give us your money and support us. Why are you complaining? Why do you care about someone abusing other women? Which doesn't matter. What is it, 2020 or something? According to BroadwayNews.com, protesters responded to the statement, vowing to return louder and in greater numbers to the theater. Many students planning to actually attend the performance on Thursday just so they can boo Ramasar throughout the show, which is kind of awesome, although I'm conflicted because you are spending money to be inside that theater, which supports them. But I don't know, maybe that's actually better in the long run, because if you just don't buy the tickets, then you're just not going to see any protesters. It might actually be worth it in the long run to purchase tickets, boo him, and cause that thought process and make people realize what is going on. Because I don't think the general public and people who, are in the New York area who see these shows are just going to defend Ramasar. If you look at a video that I saw on YouTube of a local news station covering the protests, a lot of people interviewed had no idea about the controversy at all. They didn't know that this person playing Bernardo was a sexual predator. So if that awareness gets sent out, it will make a difference. At least I hope so. Maybe I'm too optimistic, because apparently the management doesn't give a flying hoot about women. There's not much I can do with this rinky-dink channel. It's not really going to make a difference, but I will say that I'm not going to be covering anything to do with the West Side Story revival. Usually when a show opens, I cover the reviews and give a little rundown of the cast and the production and some of the things to look forward to if you plan to see it. I'm not going to be doing any of that. I will cover if there's an update to this story specifically that I will cover, but nothing about the show in particular, because I just can't support it. Also, just want to let you know, after this statement, another reaction that came to it from protesters was that there was a change.org petition to have Ramasar fired, which currently has, just as of recording this, just a couple thousand fewer signatures than their goal, which is 50,000. I was one of those people who signed. I will leave the petition of change.org in the description. I would like you to share that, sign it and share it. Share any news articles you can. I'll put those in the description down below. You don't need to share the video, but share news articles and share the change.org petition, because I want this issue to be spread. So all I can say right now is shame on you, NYCB. Shame on you, AEA, because apparently the AEA, which he's also part of the Actors Equity Association, he's in good standing in the AEA, and they also defend his behavior. Shame on you, West Side Story Management, and oh yeah, fuck you, Amar Ramasar. Okay, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off. I need to cool off, move. Maybe things will get better. Maybe the stories will start to be happier. Share the petition, share the story, tell people about it. There's a really good video covered from a local news station. I'll try to put that in the description below. I hope I don't forget any of that. And yeah, I'll see you on March 3rd. On Tuesday, I will upload. And then from then on, every Tuesday and Friday, I will upload. All right, well, try to end on a happy note, I guess. I'll try to maybe record a vlog of me moving to LA, because that could be really fun. With that said, keep loving Broadway, as long as they, support you. They support women. And if they don't support women, then I don't know, you don't really have to love them that much. Because, Broadway official could have also done something about this too. They could have stepped in and said, no, you're going to fire him. And they didn't. So, maybe I don't love Broadway so much this week. Maybe they got to earn that back. So, I'll see you next time.